Hey guys, welcome back to another strategy series, another doubleheader this week. This is nethervoid, also known as John, and I'm doing the T-150 today, Tier 6 Russian heavy tank, one of the new trees as of 7.3, one of the new tanks in the tree anyway. This goes right up the IS-4 line, as you can see here, right after the KV-1. So this tank is actually just basically a better, and let's look at that tech tree again, it's a better KV-2, and you can see they're the same tier. The only thing this can't do is load the 152 derp cannon, which a lot of people like to roll with on the KV-2. Other than that, it's got better speed, because it has a better engine, a little bit better armor all over. I think the hit points are the same, and everything else is pretty much the same, except that armor and speed, which obviously they're kind of a big deal. The armor is slightly better, but the engine's a lot better. It's KV-2 has a 560 engine, this thing has 700, so that's much better. So let's talk about playstyle. This thing's a little bit faster than the KV-2, and that means what you can do with this thing is you can get into cover quicker, and you can pop out and shoot people a little bit quicker. It's a little bit easier to do flanking if you're in like a tier 8 game, and do hide while you reload, stuff like that. And that's what you're going to do with this tank, is play a pop out game. Obviously, if you're top tier, you're going to be walking around like a top dog, popping everybody with this huge 167 pin, 300 damage gun, which is ridiculous, and especially for tier 6. The only other gun that's better is the ARL-44's 212 pin gun, which is obviously ridiculous, but this has a little bit more damage. So that's pretty much how you're going to play this tank. It's just like a big heavy. You can get in people's face, and it's kind of heavily armored for its tier. Well, this is getting it's pretty still nice armor for its tier. And but it is a little sluggish, so you're going to want to make sure that you get behind cover and not have Arty dropping bombs all over your face, because a slow tank is the prime target for an Arty because it's a lot easier to hit. Like the low gets jacked up a lot because it moves so slow, it's an easy target. So now that we know how we're going to play this tank, let's look at the stats here. 840 hit points is pretty average. 700 horsepower, pushing 54 tons. That's where you get that slight bit of pickup on this tank. 35 speed limit. You'll probably get into 25 or 30 about. 8 traverse is really bad for tracks. Combined with 24 traverse on the turret is only, what is that, 42? It's really slow, and you'll get circled in this tank. So be careful. Don't push up too close to people's face, especially mediums. They will try to circle you. If they do get close, or you looks like they're going to try to circle you, pop them in the tracks, and then try to get behind a building or get your butt up against a wall or something so they can't circle you. Armor is pretty decent for this tank, and it's all around really. 75 in the back is not too bad. The only place they're really going to hit you is probably this back hatch if you get a shot on your back, or the cupola right here. So it's pretty nice armor all around, which is pretty normal for these lower tier Russian tanks. They have good armor all around, except for the KV-1S. We won't talk about that now. I'm probably doing that one next week, but it's also a tier 6 heavy, but it's more like a medium. It moves a lot faster, which is much like this IS line. These all move pretty fast. But this is part of the heavy, or the armored line, so you can expect really good armor on this tank. Let's see, 330 view range is very average, which is kind of nice. Some tier 6s probably have less than that. It's decent. Anything above 300 to me is decent. 440 signal range is pretty bad for a radio, but that's kind of all you get, so there's nothing you can do about it. I would love to see like a 500 or maybe 550 meter radio, but 440 is not going to be a detriment. It's just not that good. So let's talk about modules. We just talked about the radio, and you should already have this radio, I believe, from the KV-1. Yeah, right there, see? So you should already have this radio to store it right on, and it should get you anything you really need. Toward the end of the game, if you're opposite corners of the map, your teammates might drop off your radar, but probably will be no problem. The tracks, you do need to get these tracks. You're going to have to get these tracks for to upgrade this tank. So you do get a little bit of rotation, 2 degrees per second there, which is nice. 16 is going to feel real sluggish, and you're basically not going to be able to turn almost at all. 16 is really low for tracks. But the main thing is, to get the upgraded turret and to get the gun, you're going to have to get those tracks. You don't have to get the turret to get the 85, but you definitely have to get it for the 107, and that's what the gun you want to go after anyway. You're going to have... Oh, you won't have that engine. I thought you might have the engines. Apparently not. You won't have that one either. So you're going to start out with a stock engine. 500 is going to feel a little slow. It's going to feel sluggish, especially with this 16-degree turn speed here. You're going to feel really slow. You're going to want to get to cover quick and play pop-out game pretty much the whole time. Be very careful about getting circled when you have this small engine and the first set of tracks. The turret is a nice upgrade on armor, except in the back you lose a little bit of armor, and there's no turning upgrade. That's interesting. No traverse upgrade. That's kind of odd. But you're going to need it to get the 107 anyway, so you're going to have to get all that first, and then lastly you're going to be able to get this nice 107. You might even have it... Oh no, you won't have it researched. Only if you had it on the KV. I had it researched when I got this tank. But you probably won't have it researched. You're going to have to do that too. Now let's look at the guns. I think you're going to start out... No, you won't. Wow. I thought you would start out with that, but apparently you won't. Probably start out with this 57. Yeah, you'll have the 57 or the 76. I think I went with this 76. But that's really low pen. Actually, no, this 57. This is a nice gun, actually. A lot of people like this gun. 112 penetration, 85 damage. It's pretty nice. And in fact, people roll with this a lot of times on their KV-1. So you're going to have that right away. Throw that on, and 26 rounds per second, you're going to be just machine gunning people. Hopefully you can get some back or side shots, but probably not with your slow tracks and engine. But once you upgrade the turret and everything and the tracks, you can get this nice 107 with 167 pen, 300 damage. This is pretty much, well, it's a tier 7 gun. This is actually on the IS-6, the new tier 8 premium. This is the same gun. It's the same gun on the KV-5, give or take. I think the KV-5 has more faster reload rate. Might be IS-6 might have a faster reload rate as well. But the point here is the penetration. That's awesome penetration for a tier 6. You should be able to pick out weak points on tier 8 heavies in the front, and nice 300 damage there, and definitely side and back shots, no problem. So that's the modules. Let's do some research. So here's the 150's tech tree, and you're not going to have that much when you start. You have a little bit. You're not going to have these, obviously the tracks, you usually don't get the tracks. You're not going to have these engines, you're going to have this radio and all these 3 guns, which that's kind of nice, you get your choice. I started with the 122 because that's pretty nice, little mini derp, 450 damage. You can shoot you can shoot those tier 8s and still get some decent damage on them. And I'm going to show you a game where I do just that. The penetration doesn't really matter because you really with HE all you care about is the max damage here. It does work good against like tier 3s and 4s obviously, but mainly what you want it for is to shoot those tier 8s and stuff that are really hard to pen with the 57 or 85. Well, with the 57, 112 penetration. So get that 122 first. That's what I did. Put some nice damage on those higher tiers. And then what you're going to want to do is unlock the tracks first because you can't load the turret or the big gun without the tracks. So I got the tracks first, then I got the turret, then I got the 107, which was already unlocked for me. And then I got get the 2 engines and get anything else you haven't unlocked, and then get the KV-3 and you're done. Back from research, and now we're going to do equipment, and I don't usually put equipment until I hit tier 7 and above on tanks. But if I was going to put it on here, it's kind of nice because you're going to get the stuff you can use all the way up to tier 10. Large caliber tank rammer, that's awesome. I definitely put that on there. Class 3 vents, that's for heavies. I'd put that on there. And I'd probably put I would definitely put a vert stab on the IS-7, but you don't see it here, so don't buy it yet. You might want to go with binocs. That's a good choice, or toolbox. If your crew's not 100%, that would be good. Even if it is, your repair probably won't be that high. Your crew's not going to be like this. I got this crew at 100% when I got this tank because they gave me a free 100% crew. So you can get a toolbox that'll help you repair when your tracks get nailed, and that's going to happen in this tank because the tracks are pretty big. So I'd probably get a toolbox actually. That'd probably help you the most. For ammo, HE, 4 HE, and 50 AP is probably good because the 167 pen gun, you should not be shooting HE almost ever, so just do that. And for consumables, tier 5s and 6, I do the small repair kit only because it's not worth spending 3K for the fire extinguisher or the health kit. But tracks, sometimes you get tracked out in the middle of nowhere and you don't want to get RD'd, so it's nice to fix that track real fast and get back to cover. Your crew is probably going to be more like 85 or 90%. Actually, you should get 100% crew before you finish off this tank. When I move my crew up to tier 7s, I make sure I get 100% first. And the only thing I would change here, and I'm not going to do that right now because I don't think I'm keeping this crew actually, but I would change this commander to mentor. And that's because I think getting a 10% bonus to crew training on all these other guys is a really big deal. It's worth giving up 20% of my bonus to repair speed, which really turns out to be 20, it's more like that's 20% of my bonus, which is only 10% because 100% bonus or 100% repair skill is plus 50% to repair speed. So that means this guy is 20% of my crew. That means at 100% repair, he is 10% faster repair. And so I'm willing to give up that for Mentor. It's worth it. So that's this tank and the crew, and let's get this thing into a couple games. Here's a game I had on, and these are going to be, again, 7.3 replays. So El Haloof, I don't have control of this. This is, I basically frapped the replay so I could keep it. Obviously, the 7-point replay would not work in 7.4 once they did a patch. Well, it's not obvious, but usually they don't work. So this is a game I had before I had the big turret and before I had the big gun and stuff, but I have the 122 and I wanted to show you this game. I have all HE loaded, which is kind of nice. There's no switching. And this can basically, if you shoot at weak points of tanks, can do damage to any tank in the game. Higher armor values mean lower damage, so you want to shoot. That's why you're shooting for weak spots, and hopefully where the tank is not very armored. What do we got over there? I stopped. Usually I don't stop to aim at somebody. The aim time on this is not that bad. For a mini derp, it's pretty good. I'm sorry, aim time, or I mean reload speed. I think it's like, I want to say 8 or 9 seconds. Obviously you can't see it here because for some reason Replay Jimbo's mod does not work in replays. And neither does the actual, just regular WoT GUI doesn't work on replays. It doesn't show you, like, when you're camo net, when you're not getting the bonus, the camo net's still green. So it's kind of weird. A couple scouts duking it out there. Okay, that was a PZ-3-4. I could probably jack that guy up pretty good with this mini derp. So we're taking the hill. You should see it when you play on El Haloof. There should be at least 3 heavies that take this. I call it the A1 corner, and that's because this is where heavies brawl on this map. And in the other team is probably going to put 2 or 3 heavies here. So if you don't, they're going to steamroll right past this area. And this is actually a nice side of the map on this north side. You can wait. I would have taken a shot on that guy, but Russian gun depression is pretty bad, actually. But anyway, if you wait for them to come up right here and come after you, and I am not getting... Oh, there's no arty on this map. That's why I'm driving way over here. Usually I don't drive this far out, but with no arty you can. Anyway, if they come up the hill right here, your TDs can shoot at them. The TDs that should be sitting at B4, approximately, can shoot at them. Now, we just made a break for it. When all 3 when a guy goes around and down like that, everybody needs to go. And what that does is doesn't allow them to focus fire that one guy down, and then another guy goes out and they focus fire him. And then, okay, so here's a nice shot on this DB. DBs have okay armor, and that's why I only did 95 damage. Basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, because the HE mechanics are actually kind of complicated, but the amount of damage that the shot does, it goes up against the thickness of armor. And I think you'd cut the HE in half, the damage in half, and the armor will soak up that much damage, and this is probably very off. If you know how HE works, please just explain it in the comments. But that is why when you shoot at lower armored areas, you get more damage, because that damage gets absorbed by the armor, a certain amount of it does, and then the rest of it gets through the armor into the tank. The T1 not being very smart, driving up, getting shot at by, I think that's a KV-5, if I'm not mistaken. Gets jacked up. You don't want to just be, oh, I'm a tier 5, I'm going to roll right up in people's face. Like, you're the lowest tier, bro. You need to follow everybody else. 4% now on that guy. And definitely don't give him side armor in a T1. Thing has no side armor. It's got decent front armor, but no side armor. Here's a KV-1. Shot him, tried to shoot him right in the gun. I only usually get about 100 damage with this gun. Almost never get the 400 damage. Rarely I'll get like 200 damage. So right in the gun, 104 damage. I used my track repair there because I didn't want to get shot by that KV-5. Lots of tanks up here now. But they're not very... They're letting their little guys die. The KV is being very cautious. Shot him in the R2-D2 where he has soft armor. See, it reloads pretty quick. I mean, for a mini derp, it reloads really good, right? The guy behind me shot me right in the back of the turret. Let's get this guy out of the game. Bam. Shoots me right in the back of the turret. I don't know what he was thinking. Probably zoomed in. And I don't have a repair kit, so there goes... I have plus 50% to my reload speed. Probably should have let my crew fix my tracks since they do have a fast repair. Normally, in a tier 6 tank, you will not have the extra repair skill. So I don't know what I was... Well, plus it could have been early on in this one. Now, I'm not trying to just get the kill shots on people here. I'm not trying to steal kills. What I'm trying to do is knock that guy's gun out of the game. Because even at 2% or one hit point, a guy's gun still does the same amount of damage. So you want to get those guns out of the game, and that helps you win. Now, I did get a replay last week of a guy holding his shot to get the kills. I will not post a game like that. If you hold your shots because you want to get the kill, you're a turd, man. You're lame. Just take your shots as you get them. Plus, your team might lose because of that, so don't pull that crap. You don't... I guess you get a slight bonus for getting a kill shot. I had thought you don't get anything, but somebody pulled it up off the wiki. It's very, very slight. It's not worth trying to get a kill shot. The damage you would do if you would have shot before the kill shot is worth more. You get more damage, and you get more XP and credits for getting the full damage of your gun on a tank than you do getting the kill shot on a tank and only doing like 15 damage. So you actually want to try not to get the kill shot if you want credits and XP. In fact, I know lots of clans. I've heard from them. So this guy's AFK. While I can't really do anything, I'm so slow right here. I don't have the upgraded tracks. I don't think I have the engines either. I figured, well, I'm not going to really help. These guys are already swarming them. Let me get some free XP and credits by shooting this guy. I think this is... Yeah, this Tiger P's like, whoa, hey, check out this free XP bag. He's almost dead. I'm going to get him out of the game. And I bounced the shot. Nice. I think he has a short 88. 132 penetration is probably why he couldn't pen me. Boom! This thing's actually really not that accurate, so I was kind of surprised I got those 2 hits on that tank. Took him out, though, in 2 shots. That was kind of cool. As you can see, the reticle stays pretty large, even when you zoom in. I think it's because my crew was 100%. If my crew was like 70 or 75, this gun would probably be very frustrating at longer ranges like that. But with a 100% crew, it's pretty fun. A lot of people like to roll around in their KV2 with a 100% crew and that big 152mm derp gun because it becomes pretty accurate. I mean, for a derp it is anyway. So we pretty much crushed this team 14-9. And again, usually if you take A1, you win the game. Usually. Because that means the other team's camping and they usually lose. So that's pretty good. 1,200 point game. So okay credits. Killed 3 guys. Obviously I didn't get a medal or anything. Killed 3, damaged 2, and detected the DB. 9 out of 9 shots. Nice game. And let's get another one. So here's a game where I have the upgraded tracks, turret, and at least the gun. I'm not sure if I have the engines at this point. What I'm trying to do with these Russians that I just got basically free tanks on 7.3 is I'm trying to get a bunch of good replays so I can do some bonus videos and get them out of my garage. Because what this is allowing me to do is not only free up garage slots, which actually I have like 10 free ones now, so I don't really need any. It's giving me my credits back. It's giving me lots of credits, and I'm using that to buy new tanks. I do need to get the S100, SU100 after this. That's the next tank I'm going to buy. Then I'm going to buy the Panther II, and then probably the VK, is it 2501A or some crap like that, the Tier 8 heavy tank for Germans that's going up the mouse line. So I had actually a better game than this that you saw in the garage with this gun, but since I was top tier, I kind of wanted to show you a game. A lot of people always say, hey, can you show me a game where you're not top tier when it happens? So this is a Tier 8 game, and I had a pretty good game. What you want to do in this kind of a game is basically just do not be the priority target. Always hide, be very sheepish, look for those opportunities to get your gun into the game and jack people up. But just do not get focused on. Do not rush. Don't be really aggressive. Just try to stay alive. That's your goal, is to try to stay alive. If you can flank on people, you can help your high tiers out by taking some of the the focus off those guys and make your enemy choose between you or the Tier 8. And they'll have to swing their turret back and forth. Not only are they wasting time not having their gun on a target, they're also wasting time because they're going to have to re-aim because they just moved their turret. Now, for some reason, at 520 meters, I could not hit this KV-2. Some of that, my crew's at 100%, so it's not my crew. It's just this gun is not very accurate. I mean, it's decent accuracy, but it's not like a German gun. With a German gun, I would have nailed this guy. So he's got the derp on this thing, which can be very devastating. I figured going up the hill I would be able to hit him, but nope, missed him again. This is where I sit almost every match on this map. It's an awesome spot, this little hill. Once I find a good spot to go on a map, I generally don't go other directions. And I think a lot of it's because, why? If this is a really awesome spot, why would I go anywhere else? Again, oh, I hit that guy that time. Curved down right to the top of the turret and hit him. About time, that was my third shot on him. So, whenever you see a 30 and you can get a side shot on him, take it. Because as soon as they turn toward you, and then you're like a tier 6 like I am, you're going to have a much harder time hitting them. I would have taken that shot, but it was way too blind. So I've got a kill, which is not too bad. Our team has 7 kills. So having one of the kills, especially as a tier 6 in this match, is pretty good. So this guy's down in the river. The river's a pretty nice spot. I wouldn't hang out there, but it's a good spot for heavies because it's very a place to go pretty low profile. I'm knocking trees down because by this time I feel like we've got this game pretty much in the bag. 7-4 like this. I know that's only 3 tanks, but 3 tank swing is pretty big, especially when we're closing in on them. And again, okay, I hit that guy, but I did 0 damage, so I must have hit the tracks or something. Especially on the north, because they have this great hill. I mean, really, they need to rebalance this map. I've said this before, but see, now there's probably no way. See how the dot's red? There's no way I'm going to hit that guy. And he just pounded with that heavy right there. 519 damage. I do have the 30, but I don't have any upgrades for it yet. Oh, I have the tracks, that's it. I bought them with free XP because in the higher tier tanks, it's nice to get a couple of the modules out of the way. That way you don't come in with a full stock, you know, tier 8. And that's how you keep your win percentage up. That's kind of a, not really a secret or anything, it's just what people do. They save up their free XP for their higher tier tanks so they don't have to drive them when they're stock, because usually when the higher tier tanks are stock, they're really bad. So anyway, so the 30's not too bad for me now with the increased tracks. It cuts down a lot on my having to grind with a crap tank. I do have the long 88 on it, which is still a decent gun. It's just not a really awesome gun. It's not the high tier gun that it has, or the big gun. It's not the 500 damage gun, which I can't wait to get. 128 mil, I think it is. Alright, so what am I shooting at here? Tiger 2? Probably not going to pen this guy. We'll see. Oh, it's sideways. Side armor. Nice! Side of the turret. 300 damage on the tier 8. It's going to be lots of XP. Same amount of credits as I would have got on any other tank. I think that's the back. Oh. Nah. Nope. I think he's behind a couple things. So now it's time to advance. 12-6. They only got 3 tanks left. There's no way they're going to win this. So now it's time to think about XP and credits, but I don't want to die. To me, I like to keep my stat up where I lived through an entire game. There's several times I've seen a game like this where we have this many tanks, and it actually comes down to me getting a kill. So if I just rush out there and die, and I'm not available to get that kill, side of the turret again, I think, BAM! You're dead. Tiger 2. Got a tier 8 kill and a tier 6. I feel pretty good about that. Now, he was pretty damaged, but I hit him twice. I got 600 damage on him. But anyway, I could be the guy that needs to come in and get the kill, so I don't want to just rush in there like a dumbass and die. I like to keep my battles survived percentage up. This is pretty much the end of the game. They only have an IS-8, and I think he's way up, or IS-3, and he's way in the north. So I'm just going to come in here and get some cap points. Now, if you're in the cap when you win the game, you get a split of everybody's cap points, or cap XP and credits. So just get in the circle even if you're only going to get a couple of points. Looks like a 700-point game there, pretty nice. Lots of credits. Killed 2 guys, didn't damage, didn't spot anybody. That's pretty much what you're expecting in that kind of game. So I'll see you guys next time, and let me know what you think.